Greenwald and Chelsea Manning?
Yes, we shall.
So what do you have to say about Sam? So let me first say a few events that happened, and then there's one piece that I didn't know about until today, and that was interesting. But first, of course, it starts up where kind of out of nowhere, although I guess you could have seen it perhaps. I wasn't too surprised when it happened. I was like, but it's kind of nowhere, where Chelsea Manning put out this tweet. So it's on the screen right now. And yeah, I mean, the more serious part is that I can't deal with this anymore. I'm terrified of you and everything you do. You're greedy, unprincipled, and embarrassed for ever calling you a friend. So very serious tweet, but again, as per usual, and I was it was so funny. I saw Glenn was using the same exact word. He was like, another vague attack. And I found it to be another absolutely vague attack, because I mean, she doesn't specify anything at all what she's talking about. So we'll get into it. Of course, more information has emerged through Glenn. But yeah, just like Anna Kasparian and all that, whenever they make attacks of Glenn Greenwald, and I've asked you, Sam, I was like, I'm sure Glenn has changed his opinion on things. I'm sure there are examples, but anytime they attack him, they never mention what are these issues that he's flip-flopped on, and that, you know, they're so serious. They never mention it. And of course, Chelsea Manning was different. It was more like a pure personality attack. But yeah, she didn't really mention why. So this is a little bit of intro, I guess, to the topic. Do you have anything to add here?
No, not anything
And
really
then,
substantive. I would just say personally, I completely agree with Glenn on this matter. I mean, that's just my personal take. Although I am very reading the comments and the personal exchanges between them. At first, I personally, because you're a close friend of mine, I've told you, I have very, very negative feelings and views on Chelsea Manning as a person, as activist, as everything, like even way before this.
So before you mention that, so yeah, Glenn Greenwald quickly replied back in a tweet. But yeah, what is more interesting is that he put out this article on Substack, which featured all of their conversations since in like 20, all of them happened in 2018, I believe. And Glenn before that was kind of
2016, then 2018, then yeah.
And that was it, yeah. And Glenn was kind of, and the messages I believe start with a bet Glenn trying to get him on get her on his show. He backed in on the Intercept, and she had come out of prison and she was kind of ghosting him. And then she started talking to him with kind of, why are you on Tucker Carlson and stuff, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, go correct that and then get back into your thing.
I highly suggest everybody check that out for themselves to see the timeline and everything. But it starts with her or somebody from her communication team contacting Glenn, asking to promote her links or her books, I don't know, something, and then him congratulating. It's normal.
But that's not their history. That's not the history of the conversation. Yeah, that was when she was still in prison. Her representative would ask Glenn if he can retweet this, or he can retweet that. After that, okay. Anyway, in any case, all this is in the Substack article. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, it's all check. No, but I wanted to say, I personally, before this, I've had negative views about this individual and all that, and so I just want to be, open about my side. So I never thought anyways, I was automatically drawn to side with Glenn, obviously. But then reading the messages, I would say that I don't know, I'm not a professional, I don't anything, but I do feel this is somebody who's in psychological pain, and I think he in needs maybe problems and has some history of that. And I think they need help more than need to be you're like Chelsea Manning, she's completely wrong on this issue. I think Glenn Greenwald is not I think on the first of all, she's wrong that you have to 100% agree politically with your friends, or they have to at least publicly sort of side with you. Otherwise they're not your friends. And I think she's wrong on the freedom of speech issue, and I think she's wrong to try to deplatform Tucker Carlson or anybody else, because it's bad for the left. overall, I think. Um, and morally, it's bad, to be honest. I mean, yeah. Anyway,
Yeah,
that's
that was a bit
anyway. Like
strange. I mean,
you, yeah.
that's how
But
the whole
besides that,
conversation
it's just
starts, right? That's her main issue with him, kinda. That
yeah.
appears to be the only
Their
issue.
whole main yeah.
It's
Their
Tucker
whole main
Carlson.
issue with Jimmy Dore, with Glenn Greenwald, all these people, their main issue is that they go on Fox News and stuff. And it's not like MSNBC is inviting them,
Yeah,
they need to grow their audience. They need to, and they want to promote their ideas. So
yeah.
I really don't get these people. But I would say I've had same thing happen to personally has happened to me with a lot of friends though, I think. But I don't know, the messages were a bit, because she comes across as, I don't know, I don't think she comes across as coherent. So I feel like she keeps expressing a lot of pain, I feel.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I mean,
I
maybe
feel
we'll
under
just,
attack. Yeah.
yeah. And maybe I think maybe this will help your points. So we'll just read the very end in a second, which exactly, it's a bit like confusing and stuff. But yeah, then the messages kind of go back and forth. Glenn kind of makes her feel bad for not having messaged him and stuff while she's been out in prison. So she like apologizes and then comes back to the topic and all this. But interestingly, Glenn got some, before we get to the last part, which I found to be a little bit interesting part of the conversation, but Glenn gets some pushback because in his tweet, he had mentioned that I came and saw you while you were at your lowest and you had like, your suicide attempts and all that, or you were perhaps thinking about committing suicide. So then Glenn, since then, has apologized. So he apologized for that on that day.
Yeah, yes.
Um, I'm
On
trying
the
to,
Twitter
yeah.
thing, yeah, I
So
saw.
yeah, here's this one. When I read Chelsea's
And by the
tweets, yeah, I felt betrayed, suicide, but how you apologize. And I stand by everything else I said. That's my last word on this. Even that, I mean, it's good that he apologized. I mean, sure. I mean, he even apologized on that. I mean, he didn't fully even have to. I mean, he got attacked with this. He had to come out. And I don't have any issues, particularly with him releasing the messages. It's not the best thing, but there wasn't anything too bad and too sensitive in it. And I think when these things happen, just like how Jimmy Dore happened with Anna Kasparian, I'm sorry, unfortunately, I think you have to come out pretty much with all guns blazing if you want to get ahead of this. Any kind of attack.
Okay, my yeah, I to be honest, I don't think he should have apologized. I think Glenn, because he's been directly attacked by this person, in my view, both publicly and privately, I think he has every right to defend himself and publish the messages that prove that she's basically lying. That why is she terrified of? Terrified
Yeah.
of what? What has Glenn said that is terrifying? But I think the online community, as a person, like as somebody who, like, I know a lot of people like to comment, and I never, do stuff online. This, like, Anna Kasparian seemed to me like genuinely being that's an adult,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? Like, she's not in a abnormal state of mind, but this person, I think, maybe at like the messages, they seem like so much like somebody who has taken something so personally, and so much is in pain, and keeps talking about the fact that they are not in a financially good position, and which has nothing to do with the issue, exactly, which has nothing to do with the issue. So I think it was more, it felt like, I don't know, it just felt like somebody who's psychologically breaking down, rather than somebody like Cenk Uygur, who's, I think, he's not, like, I don't know, I mean, in a way
Yeah.
everybody's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm crazier than most, but so I don't know, but no, I think Glenn shouldn't even have apologized for that, because I think that's a completely fair comment to make, although I can see why some people
Yeah.
may interpret that as a
No, exactly.
negative thing.
Yeah. So I mean, people have to read to kind of get the feeling of it. But yeah, it all
But
kind of
that's
comes
a
down to this Tucker Carlson thing and her feeling betrayed. And then you're right, taking it in this personal way and bringing up financial stuff as well. I mean, even herself, her other tweet starts with her first tweets, the original one starts with the whole, as soon as I have the 10,000, I'll give it to you and stuff. So, I mean, it seems to be weighing in heavy on her, or I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I mean, financial difficulties can cause a lot of psychological problems, I think, and you can lash out and use whatever you have to grab to seek attention and all that. So, but typically though, another attack as, but that, again, yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, it's very sad though. I've lost quite a lot of friends. Trump thing.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. My to be honest, I mean, as I live partly, at least part of the time in Iran, and you know, as you know, my views are not welcomed. You know, and
But
a lot of people. I mean, yeah, they don't have any legal means to
Mhm.
but they cut off relations, and and that's the thing, they fight you, and when you stop fighting them and you say, okay, let's just be friends and not let's not talk about this thing that we disagree, then they just put you aside. So it happens, it's just normal.
Yeah, I feel like often that might happen with people who are apolitical because if you're political and you think about it a lot, I mean, on the surface, it might seem like, okay, there's some people, clearly you don't see eye to eye on issue X or Y. But even with people that you think you see kind of, you're kind of on the same page, all it just takes is a little bit of talking, and then you'll quickly realize that you're perhaps not on the same page at all. Like us, it just takes like a few minutes of discussions before we completely
That
diverge. So we're kind of used to that, but I feel like some people are not used to it, then they just maybe take it so personally. Because if not, I challenge anyone. I mean, just starting with your parents, most people, their parents would vote for
no
somebody else than them, and that's their
Yeah,
parents. Then their siblings, childhood friends probably disagree with you like fully. So I mean, this, yeah.
but I think, to be honest, the problem comes from actually this middle segment. I actually don't
Mhm.
think it's people who don't know. Actually, what
I think I'm referring to the
Alexander
same
Pope,
segment maybe of people, but yeah, go ahead. Maybe I mean the
maybe,
same.
yeah, like Alexander Pope said, little learning is a very dangerous thing, and I think that's the perfect case of that. They know enough to argue, but they don't, they don't know. They like the liberals who say, "Oh, you're just ideological," and you're like, "Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Everybody's ideological." They don't have the, they know a little. They
Yeah.
have a little learning,
Okay.
but they're not fully apolitical, because
Political. I see
fully
what you're saying. Yeah.
apolitical people are just, having fun, and they actually, I have some friends who are fully apolitical, and that's actually fun sometimes,
No,
like
no, fair enough. Okay.
some somebody who, like,
Yeah.
somebody, people whose whole life is focused on movies or
Yeah.
sports or something.
Yeah, no, no, fair enough there. But yeah, I mean, she shouldn't be so disappointed that if you ask me.
No, I mean, when you publicly attack somebody,
Yeah.
you deserve everything you get. That was just the, yeah. I mean, yeah, that was
No,
the
I
feeling.
just meant with like,
Uh,
her feeling that Glenn Greenwald is so far away from like her
oh
views
yeah,
and all
that's
that. I
crazy.
mean, that's just how it is and how
I
upset she is herself and stuff
I
over the
mean,
issue too.
yeah, it's I yeah, she's just. I mean, these people, I hate, yeah, this kind of people who, even if you do, like, with what, did you think this would work? Did you think
Yeah.
messaging like Glenn Greenwald and
I don't know
don't
what
go
she
on
was
Tucker?
thinking that. I mean, I feel that was such an easy, like, he like he like did the whole thing in like 5 hours. The tweet goes up, he already replies, he posts an article, puts everything out, throws in an apology, and that's it.
I doubt he's enjoying this, to be
No,
honest.
no, no, no.
Nobody likes.
I'm just saying it was such an easy attack on him that he didn't even have to make a video like he did against Anna Kasparian or TYT. I mean, he just
Yeah,
quickly
it was
people
just so
put it
bad. Yeah,
aside.
so pitiful.
Yeah,
So,
but
and
this,
by the way, I will. Oh, I like to. This was something I wanted to point out, that Glenn is one of the very few people who hasn't played this game, because I do think media also plays this game, that they keep trying to pit the whistleblowers like
mm,
Chelsea Manning and Edward
mhm.
Snowden against Julian Assange, and to a lesser extent now Glenn Greenwald. And I even remember, like, yeah, now, like, all these articles that would say, Assange have bad words for Snowden and Glenn,
Mm-hmm.
and then you would read the article on Guardian or something, and you would see, no, he didn't. He didn't
Yeah.
say anything bad about them. They took something thing to make they try to start a fight between these people. So I'm sure Chelsea Manning is surrounded by similar sort of type people in New York, wherever she is. So that's possible. And Glenn Greenwald never played that. He never sold out Assange for personality, because whatever he said.
No, 100%. And I mean, we keep on getting, like I was telling you, I think this would be good. Maybe watch a few of the interviews, and if they're good, do this. Maybe take like 5 or 10 of Glenn Greenwald's Tucker Carlson interviews, watch them. We can watch them live together, and then see, I mean, where are some points of contention where we can push Glenn back on something. He's getting all these
I'm sure there are
accusations. I'm
loads.
sure there are, but yeah, maybe we can help
But
Anna Kasparian out of it.
freedom of speech is not one of them.
But man, I was watching the videos and I was already dying. I was trying to watch one of them for a bit. Tucker Carlson is the funniest actor ever. When Glenn is talking, he's like, I mean, I kind of want you to pay the same level of attention to me.
He's famous for his I don't want to for his
what do you call that?
I don't know how to put it politely, but anyway, for his idiot thinking face, or for a face that usually men make after a certain leisure activity. But he wants to pretend that he's paying attention.
Oh, it was so funny.
The opener the mouth and the bigger the eyes, the more attention he's paying. I mean, he's a good showman, I suppose.
Yeah, no, 100%. Okay, let's just wrap up this story with this last the last exchange that they had, which featured in the Substack. So Chelsea Manning, and I'll be featuring this on the screen. Glenn Greenwald sends a message to Chelsea Manning being like, hey, like I told you, this Emily G person, I don't know who she is. I haven't blocked her, but she blocked me. And then Chelsea comes back and saying, why are you telling me this? And basically earlier on in the conversation, it kind of started one of the conversations with Chelsea Manning asking,
she said that you blocked
why
my
did you
friend.
block him? And he's like, no, I was just showing you because I didn't block. So she blocks me, but I didn't block her. And then she responds with, why are you telling me this is there? And he explains. And then she goes with, can you chill out? You're constantly exchanging potential material gains for your own benefit. I know you're living large. So this message kind of encapsulates everything you're saying. I know you're living large and all, but I'm living in a closet-sized apartment in Brooklyn without health insurance and constantly waiting for a break on mass quarantine. You're causing actual material harm, embracing this mad Nazball. So again, referring to Tucker Carlson. I mean, this is not attack, but because it's really hurting, I'm just tired. So again, her showing this emotional toll that the fact that Glenn Greenwald is going on Tucker Carlson has on her for some reason, because again, she didn't point at anything else. And also the first line, I was like, can you chill out? You're constantly exchanging material gains for your own benefit. Well, he was defending himself against your previous accusation that he had blocked someone.
Maybe that was a reference to appearing on Fox and exchanging material on Substack. I don't know, maybe like putting material online. But again, it's very
It's kind of sad too. I reread it now. It's kind of.
I
was more bothered by the first two lines.
I really wanted to be happy because I don't like this person, and I'm happy that larger number of people now agree with me that this person never. That's a different discussion. But but at the same time, it's sad because I've lived with and dealt with a lot of people with bipolar and borderline and all that. And that's one of the reasons I'm attracted to Marxism, because I think economics is a pretty good explanation usually for psychological behavior. Yeah, especially young childhood economic upbringing.
And I mean, Chelsea Manning, but I mean, what she was put through after also when she released those leaks, I mean, that must have had insane impact. I mean, back then I used to watch Democracy Now! A lot, and they would cover the court cases and everything, and they would show this basic little tomb that she was kept in for a long time and all that. So I mean, the impact that all of she was straight up tortured. So I mean, she has definitely been through hell, although it doesn't really justify the kind of attack there.
No, yeah,
But
it's
yeah,
not a justification, but I
maybe more of
hope
an
she has some
explanation, or
friends
yeah.
that, yeah, that's, yeah.
But
Or
okay.
like if she does apologize, I think we should be open to it because
Oh,
it's different
100%.
from some others, I think.
I
Yeah.
think if anybody apologized, should be more or less open to it. But I mean, if you're referring to TYT and Anna Kasparian, they don't apologize. They just
Yeah.
double down every now and then.
Jenk, no, Jenk. No, Jenk apologizes, kind of, but in a
About
very
like
like,
900 years ago, though. I mean, like specific
yeah.
apology about something. I mean, he had to apologize about his past. I mean, and
Yeah,
apparently they've
I'm
all
just saying.
apologized about the recent. But one
Or
last
Jake,
thing.
you know, a lot of people go to jail and find Christianity or Judaism or Islam and then come out and apologize. Like, you know,
Yeah.
that's different. Yeah, I'm just saying.
And on Twitter was funny. Last thing, I'll just feature this on the screen as well. Like a few of the more notable people who had commented back, who had commented were there. So there's the Vosh one. And then I love the Anna one. Projecting is a hell of a drug. That's all she tweeted. Like she always comes with these, like she's kind of turning into like these one-liner right-wing kind of population where they just like put a saying or an idiom or like something analogy and then move on. Projection is a hell of a drug. Okay, well, thank you for that, Anna.
Yeah. What can I say?
But but
It
okay,
is.
moving.
She's right, but not in this context.